Welcome back to the Beyond Boundaries podcast, where we're just pushing people beyond their normal limits and everything. Very special guest on the show today. A guest that should have a lot of great insight for y'all. He's actually currently on Georgia Tech's golf team. We met through a class, and we just kept up since. So we'd see each other in the athletic facility and everything from there on. So before I get into any further, I just want to let Aiden introduce himself.
Yeah. My name is Aiden Tran. I'm a third year from Fresno, California, and I'm studying finance, and I'm actually going to graduate this May too.
Really?
And yeah, so me and Jaden, we met Info Systems. We kind of just sat next to each other in class, and he was a great dude, and we had a pretty good time in a relatively boring class.
I know, seriously. Aiden got me through that class.
Yeah.
Just want y'all to know, he's a great guy, very intelligent guy. And actually, that's the first thing we're going to talk about today, just because the whole focal point of the show is just, shedding light on athletes outside of just athletics, just making people realize how smart we are and just how capable we are, specifically at a school like Georgia Tech. We're intellectual people. And I watched a little video. I should check out Aiden's little driving on the range video or something like that, where they asked, the first question was like, what do your friends describe you in one word? And you said smart for that.
Yeah.
So I just want you to kind of talk about that a little more. Like, is academics something you've always prided yourself into? You're graduating in 3 years, so talk about that a little bit more.
Obviously, it's a huge part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big reason why I went to Tech, and the academics here are just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another thing that I can push myself to be my best version in. And, through elementary school all the way now to college, I've tried really hard in academics. I've never made it be in my life.
Really?
Even in university. So I got one more semester left to complete it all.
So is that a 4.0?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So,
4.0 at Georgia Tech while playing golf, man. That's some crazy stuff. That's impressive stuff. Well, actually, you mentioned that's one of the reasons why you came to Tech. So, my audience is, what you can assume is mainly football, some basketball audience, but the golf realm is something that's they're kind of new to. So, what is that recruiting process like in golf, and kind of what propelled your decision for Georgia Tech other than academics?
Yeah. So, my recruiting process was actually pretty crazy. It started really young, like 8th grade summer, kind of.
Really?
So, coach was watching, and was playing tournaments around the country. I was getting a lot of interest from coaches, had a lot of phone calls, even some unofficial visits.
Mm-hmm.
And then by a couple months into high school, 9th grade, I committed to Georgia Tech.
Really?
And it was I was so young at the time. It was a big leap of faith, because I had 4 years until I got to school.
Yeah.
And then, it was the best decision I've ever made. I love it here at Tech, and obviously, as I said before, the academics, and you have a really good golf program too. So it's a pretty easy choice.
Oh, that's solid. And you say it's a pretty easy choice, but it's across the country. It's quite literally on the other side of the country. So, how has that been for you? Are you a fan of Atlanta, or do you miss home?
It's funny because when I first got the letter from the coach here at Tech, I had no idea the school existed. My mom had no idea either.
Really?
But my dad went to UVA, so he knew that it was a good school, and did some research. And I kind of wanted to go somewhere different. Grew up in a kind of a suburban farmer town, and Atlanta's a lot different, and I love it here. And there's so much new stuff to do and stuff to see. So I want to even stay out here after I graduate.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so just why did you commit? Or was it just you first saw Tech, you first visited it, and you was like, it's a no-brainer, or?
Yeah. Academics, as I mentioned, but the golf program too. I came here to play golf, and there's so many guys that went out on tour and had successful careers. Our coach is one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And our facilities are just amazing. I don't know if you've seen our.
I've seen it briefly. They haven't really let me go fully dive in to go around it, but from what I've seen, it does seem real nice.
Yeah, we got a really sweet facility just off campus, and I live 20 yards from it, so it's pretty sick. Yeah.
That's real convenient. Well, committing I did not know you committed as a 9th grader. That's wild. So, here it is, almost 7 years later, you said it's the best decision of your life, so that's definitely a good thing. Well, golf has always been described as like a very mentally demanding sport, and then the fact that you mix that with a very mentally demanding school, like how are you? Like, do you have any, kind of core rules or core things that you really stick to allow you to handle it well? Like, how do you kind of handle that mental aspect of both Georgia Tech and golf?
I mean, it's tough, but it's really doable. I mean, academics, I try not to put too much stress on myself, and I feel like, for the most part, if you do the studying, you'll see the results, and put the time in, then you get your grades. And then, but sports, that's different. Yourself.
Yeah,
like
for
that,
sure.
The work doesn't always translate into better results. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the hard part. Kind of trying to remind yourself that there's more to life than just how how you're playing.
Absolutely.
And it's just a lot of just self-reflection, and then staying busy. Obviously, your teammates help kind of lighten all the pressure and stress from competition. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a crazy balance, and you know all about that yourself.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I know golf is typically a sport that you have to start or not that you have to, but people typically start it at a younger age. And then, I mean, the fact that you told me you just committed at 9th grade, so is golf something that you've been playing, since a kid?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I started when I was 3.
3 years old.
There's some like YouTube videos of myself. I was like 3 years old, just hitting balls, and
Wow.
I was on the news once. I don't know why, but just as a 3-year-old.
Wow.
And then it's crazy. I'll see all the kids from like 6 years old I'm playing with who are now competing with me in college still. And it's just like everyone starts so young, and it's just they keep playing it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm sure you've got a ton of reps of hitting this ball, everything. So, yeah. But because you're just talking about Georgia Tech golf and your experiences here, like, what are the things that you really just kind of wanted to shed light on? Because our academic program, as you probably know, is heavily focused towards like basketball, men's basketball, and football. And our other sports are kind of just in the shadow right now. And specifically with you being a golf player, like, what do you have to say about that? Like, or just what can you give the fans, because they probably don't know much about Georgia Tech golf. So what do you have to say about Georgia Tech golf?
I mean, it's super understandable. I love going to basketball, football games.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the money makers, and I'm really big fan of our team. I'm following every game and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But our golf program, I think it's been probably the best sport at Tech for a while now.
Seriously.
And then it's not the sport in general, just in college, it's not a money maker for schools. But our coach does a great job fundraising, so we never really have to worry about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Georgia Tech golf is, we were in the semifinals last year of NCAA's. We were runner-up 2 years ago. A bunch of ACC championships and stuff.
That's real.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point. Y'all probably are the most consistently good sport as far as always being top tier. But do you go through anything that the typical fan wouldn't expect? Like, is there any things on golf that that you have to do that the typical person just wouldn't think about or wouldn't expect?
You mean like in the Georgia Tech golf program?
Yeah, or just in like the life of a college, a Division I golf player.
Gosh, I mean, honestly I think we got it pretty easy compared to you guys.
Yeah.
We've got a normal class schedule, usually all in the morning, and then we'll lift 3 to 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then our program's a little different than others in terms of team practice. We have very little of. So there's like almost nothing that our coach tells us, like, hey, you got to be out here at this time.
Really?
Practice. It's pretty much all around whatever we want to do. But I think that's just because our group of guys are all so motivated. We're always out there every day grinding. So our coach never needs to worry about us. Like,
for sure. That's great respect.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just the dynamics of being a sport that you can play by yourself. I've always found that kind of interesting as, like, in football, it's a team game, but I mean, with you're literally battling. I mean, like, your numbers are yours, so.
Yeah, I mean, I see y'all on the field, doing all that drills and stuff. And, if you go to our range, it's just usually we're kind of just all doing our own thing, like by ourselves.
I haven't even thought about that. So like, do y'all not condition? Like, I know you lift, but like, is there ever conditioning? Just times of running?
Yeah, we do. That's like my least favorite. Like training plan, doing stadiums and
really
and stuff.
Y'all do stadiums?
Yeah.
Why? Do you know why? Is it just like something y'all do?
Golf. Golf is there's a good bit of you need to have stamina.
Yeah, like, for sure.
There's days we'll play 36 holes in a day, and it's like go to Texas, it's over 100 degrees, and we basically never get to ride carts too, so we're always just carrying our bags.
Yeah.
So it definitely coming like playing 4 days of golf in a row, you gotta have some.
You've had 36 whole day.
Oh, plenty of times. Yeah.
Really?
Those are. You'll feel that.
How long does that take?
Like from when you start warming up to when you finish, it's like 12 hours about.
I can imagine. Yeah. Wow, I did not know that. Well, I know we keep talking about the differences between golf and the kind of, I don't want to say that more major sports, but more notarized sports. So something I'm very interested to hear your opinion and thoughts on is just the whole NIL and transfer portal era for golf, because we know it's getting crazy and wild for football and like I said, basketball in addition. But the other sports like golf, we don't really talk about it. So what does the transfer portal look like? Has Georgia? And part of me, I should be more in tune in, but like, have we got transfers? Are people transferring out? Like, how has it affected us personally?
It's all been that stuff's been really recent. We had one guy last year transfer out, so I think he kind of shared the process with us, and I'm not sure what it looks like for you guys, but you can just kind of just put your name in the portal. Coaches will see, and then they'll reach out to you. Our coach will talk to other coaches about the player, and it's a pretty quick process in having to determine what school you go to next. But tying into NIL, it's a huge deal. We only get 4.5 scholarships per team.
Really?
So.
And just remind me how many on the team?
Usually anywhere from like 8 to 12, but yeah, 4.5 scholarships. You got to find a way to allocate that to your players. But now with NIL, it's like you just give them the amount of money that covers the scholarship. So there's really for schools with a lot of money, there's no limit essentially to how many scholarships they have, so that definitely makes it a big deal on how many what kind of players you can get, and yeah, it's only getting bigger now.
For sure.
You hear some players getting a lot of money.
Oh yeah. I'm knowing, because like I said, I know how it is in football, so I can only imagine it's being similar dynamics in golf. But you're saying, so we've had one person transfer out and we have no transfers coming in?
No. I mean, we had one guy who came in last year who was committed to USC, but then their coach got fired, so he, literally the summer before he was supposed to enroll, he flipped to us.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting to me. I mean, I guess it's good because with us, there's tons of people transferring in, transferring out just like that. So, I mean, if y'all got a good knit of guys who have stayed, that's good. So, and then obviously we harped on your intelligence. We harped on all the things. You said you're graduating this year. You're graduating in finance concentration, right? So, what are the plans for after this? Are we continuing to pursue golf, or are we using that 3-year Georgia Tech finance degree to do something? And do you plan on using your remaining eligible years of golf here after?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay next year and do a master's or get a master's in analytics.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be using my last year then.
Okay.
And then kind of depending on how I play, I think I'll get a professional golf shot for a couple of years. But you never know. I'm pretty interested in finance too, so
for sure.
I've been talking to a lot of people, trying to see what kind of opportunities there are out there. And with the Georgia Tech degree, there's a lot of people out there you can get connected to, especially with Georgia Tech athletics
for
and
sure.
all the stuff they put on and all the people you meet at all these different events. You'll find a place somewhere.
Yeah, I keep telling y'all, man, the networking piece for athletics is tremendous. That's one thing that I always appreciate. So, I mean, like you said, Georgia Tech Athletics does a great job with as far as alums. Our alums are very involved. They consistently come back. They're consistently pouring in, presenting opportunities. So yeah, I'm glad you spoke on that. And I actually had a different question about that. You mentioned professional golf, and obviously when I hear professional golf, being kind of just a casual outside observer, I think of the Masters here in Augusta, Georgia. And while I was watching your video, you said that was your favorite course to play on.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a unique experience. Not many people get to do that. Just like, what is it like to actually play on the Masters? I'm sure that's something you dreamt of as a kid.
Yeah, it's so sick. I mean, we get to play once a year. This year we got to play. It was 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, even in the winter, it's just perfect. Like, you watch it on TV all the time, but going there in person it just looks different. It's so much nicer than what you think it could be, and it's hard, man. Playing that course is tough. The professionals make it look so easy, but I mean, it's not. One of the things we like to do is shop there too.
Really?
Go in that pro shop, and guys are spending a
ton of money.
I got some really cool stuff in there.
Oh man,
and it's something you only get to do a few times, so might as well make the most of it.
No, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely real cool. Well, essentially, that's really all the questions I have. We might as well keep the episode short. Just any additional remarks, any questions for me or anything?
No, I mean, appreciate you having me on.
No, for sure.
Shout out Georgia Tech Golf.
Yes, sir.
We got a pretty young team this year, but we got a good team, so make a run at it. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm definitely excited. Like I said, I apologize. I'm definitely tapping in more because golf is something I want to get into myself. I think it's something that more people should get into. So I'm definitely excited for the rest of the season. I'm glad you were here, and if y'all tuned in and stayed this long, I truly appreciate it. And y'all be ready for the next episode. As always, be good, be blessed. Peace.